Hey everybody, this is Sharita and I back again with another great video. I am so geeked and excited. I had the pleasure to be on Miss Goldie Jones' YouTube today. She did a live stream and she let me come up on the panel. It was my first panel ever. Yay! But in all seriousness, it was a really good conversation. She has provided a safe space for Black women to come and talk about the things that's going on with this gender war, to have a real conversation. She is so courageous. I am so thankful for her. And I'm just so appreciative that she allowed me to come on her platform and to give my little 2 cents, put my little 2 cents in it. So I saw one comment that said, "Oh, this is fire." Oh, that made me feel so good. Not like I was the only person on the panel, but I was a contributor, and I'm just happy to, like I said, to be able to put my little 2 cent in it. And so I hope you like it. So we're gonna pick it up about right here, and if I can, I'll show some of the comments in the chat because actually some of the manosphere was here. We're getting ready to roll it.
Since before Black women wore wigs and makeup, you're just using that up to cover your self hatred and your whole excuse. And the road of your trail and pathology is showing, but you simply call it out. That's simply it. You just hated being called out and corrected because you want it your way. You have an inferior complex. You want to be better than someone. You want someone to be under you. The whole Bible verse, "Oh, men submit to women." The Bible also said men submit to women and women submit to men, and both of them are should respect that. Don't be a hypocrite. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lisa. Do you girls, hold for 1 second, Aubrey, do you girls mind if I bring another person up on the panel?
Yeah.
Okay, and what were you going to say, Aubrey?
I would say Black people in general claim the independent woman. They claim the independent woman because they don't want to work. They want to independent women work for them.
Mm-hmm.
And she be the provider.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel this when I was younger, and now I'm 20, but when I was 17, I work hard in my house. Mm-hmm. Because we are a lot of, and I must work for everybody, be happy. Mm-hmm. I must take everybody happy, but not me. Mm-hmm. And I was so masculine, yes. Mm-hmm. And when I take off, I do burnout. Nobody can be here for me. Mm-hmm. Because they always can take energy of Black women. Mm-hmm. They are toxic.
Yes, I get what you are saying, Aubrey, and that goes back to the hypocrisy that Woke pointed out in the comments earlier. Black men always tell us that our education doesn't matter and our money doesn't matter. They don't care how much money we have, but they want us to go 50-50 on the bills. If they didn't care how much money we earned, and about the degrees that we have, and none of those things matter, they don't add any value to us, then how can we be expected to pay bills and carry half of the household or more in some cases? In some cases, a man can't even provide half on the bills, so that's that hypocrisy. And I understand what you were saying about putting everybody else's happiness before your own and taking care of everybody else before someone steps in to, make things a little bit easier for you. That's why I advocate for you ladies to expand your options. You know, some black men are great, but expand your options. Really, you know, see all that this world has to offer us, okay? Like, you don't have to choose the struggle. You don't have to choose, you know, to work yourself to death, you know, just to stay loyal to the struggle. All right, choose better. Choose. They always tell us to choose better than the struggle. All right. Hey, Sherry, is it Sherry Danny? Thank you so much for coming up.
Hey Goldie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for coming up.
You're welcome, no problem. It's Cherie and I.
Okay, Cherie Danny. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, no problem. And nice to be on the panel with Lisa and Aubrey. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, babe.
Yeah, Haitian, IET. Oh, I'm not fluent in Francais. That would be my daughter. She's fluent. I'm not fluent.
Neither am I. Oh well.
Well, Goldie, I'm so glad that you're doing this show today. You're doing this live. I just met you this week, and it was all because my daughter told me that there was 2 petitions going around to have the, son of perdition removed from the internet, but I didn't know where they were. And ironically enough, the manosphere told me who started the petition.
Girl, listen, ain't they funny?
Yeah.
Ain't they funny? And then you know they started a petition against me, right?
Yes, I heard.
Mm-hmm. So I signed their petition to have my channel taken down because what they don't realize is that their petition about having me removed gives my petition more light and attention. And whomever the decision maker is regarding the petitions or regarding the removals will see my petition and see that my petition is about the promotion of domestic violence and begin to, you know, take a look at the reason why I have petitioned and those people who have signed it. Like, they don't understand that they just promoted me like crazy and helped to give me more credibility and visibility with the decision makers. They don't get it. They lack critical thinking to the degree that they just knock themselves out of the running for so many different things.
Well, they are called the least educated group for a reason. So.
And I guess they want to stay that way.
You know what? That's so true. And again, I'm glad you having this live because what I saw when I was talking about the Dark Knight on my Facebook page was that as women, the women who did chime in and myself, we were talking about real issues in the ADOS or, descendant of American slaves in our community, right? What's going on with us as a people. We were having a real conversation about, domestic V and pedo and, HIV rates and how when you go to the CDC, it says the largest growing group with HIV and AIDS is Black American women 12 years old to 25.
Mm-hmm.
And it also gives a breakdown as to how the CDC has come to know how it's being spread, right?
And here, I don't want to interrupt you. I want to hear what you're saying, girl, because somehow, keep going.
So what happened was, it was several years, but it'd be about maybe 6 years ago. I went to go see Professor Griff when he came here to Chicago. I don't know if y'all familiar with Professor Griff, but he used to be in Public Enemy. Okay, so but two young ladies, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been around these YouTube streets for a long time, girl.
Okay, cool, good. So I went to see Professor Griff, and it was a lot of controversy at that time about that statistic, and he brought it up, and he said 13 to 25, and I just didn't want to accept it. And I just kept pondering over that, pondering over it about 2 weeks. So I said, because I was like, Griff, no, Griff, why you lied to me, right? So, but I went to the CDC for myself, and it wasn't even 13, it was 12. It's 12 to 25. And the CDC said that it was because of Black women, and we have to take some onus in this, that Black women are having too many boyfriends, coming out of jail, too many friends of the families coming over, too many of our relatives that's rotating in and out of jail and prison. Our cousins and our nephews, and and they don't have a place to stay, and we're letting them stay with us, and they're our children.
How?
Now, these are not Cherie statistics. These come from the Center for Disease Control, right? And this is what the data they have gathered. Go ahead.
And I'm happy that you have your source, okay? Because for some odd reason, Black men want to deny the reality, right? And they kind of helped us get to this point to respond to them. For a long time, Black women have been keeping a lot of this stuff kind of secret, kind of hush hush, and not really speaking on the reality in terms of these relationship dynamics. But yeah, okay, when we talk about how that disease is spreading, let's really think about it. If Black women are the most race loyal, that means that Black women are least likely to date out with other races. That means that most Black women are most likely having intercourse with who? Black men. So,
right.
If Black women have the fastest rising numbers of that 3-letter disease that you mentioned, who are we getting it from? That also means that they also have high numbers of that same 3-letter disease. The difference between Black women and Black men, though, is that Black women usually go to the doctor more than Black men go to the doctor. And if you want to talk about access to healthcare, it's usually, there are state healthcare programs in every city. However, most Black women have a healthcare provider to where they go to, have medical, checkups, annually because they have jobs and have insurance and yada, yada, yada. So, Black people really need to think about when they talk about those, diseases in Black women and how they are in such a high number, they also really need to think about where they're coming from and what that means for them.
Can I just
Go ahead.
Sorry. It had nothing to do with this conversation. I was just reading the chat, and I noticed that some people are being split. Someone said, why is it that these men are saying, oh, these women are submissive? Like I said, women are mirrors of what they're given. If you put them in a positive environment where men are building and leading, they will be submissive and define feminine. If you put them in a horrible community where the men are bashing them and they have 6 hours, one of these women are 6 hours of 6 to 9 hours of being KILL by these men, and these men say, oh, you guys are the reason why the community is failing, they're not going to be feminine to you. It's simple as that. The women have white men or Asian men or Latino men building for them, and so of course they're going to be nice. And everything that they say Black women are this and that, or you guys have high standards, they'll be like, oh, I want a man who, can be financially stable. I want a man who, respect me. I want a man this and that. Your standard's too high. You need to be realistic. But they give it to white women though, but they expect you to be submissive and feminine to them, even though they can't provide for you. And what do you think? Do you think we'll just be feminine and submissive to men who shame us and bash us? And Project Black Honest, you don't have to be on this channel. You can always leave. And since this channel is full of lies, why are you on a channel full of lies? Bye. Go hop on your Godfather Kitten Samuel's I don't want to say the word cock or something. But just fuck off.
No, the Antichrist. That's his name now. You have to get it right. Come on now. They said we telling lies. The Antichrist. That's who he is.
Yeah, okay. The anti-death.
Yeah.
You know what, ladies, our little platform is growing, and like we obviously have their attention. BGS, thank you so much for coming over. BGS is well respected in the manosphere. He's like, one of the top dogs over there in the manosphere space. So I don't know who this Project Black person is, but let's let them rock out, okay? We are not gonna restrict them or time them out, but we will ignore them, all right? Unless BGS wants to add something, constructive to the conversation. Other than that, we can just ignore them, all right? See, the thing is that as much as Black men like to talk about how bad we are and how much they hate us, they can't stay away from us. They are always in our business. They are talking about Mr. Kitty, and he has built his entire platform, 1 million subs, and I think somebody said he make like 134K a week or something, because they be all up in his pockets and watching how much money he make and stuff. So they was bragging about how much money he made in some comments earlier, but all of that came off of the back of Black women. All right, he didn't come up with no new technology. He didn't come up with no new shaking innovation. He didn't start no new plan. He didn't build any new infrastructure. He didn't do anything but turn on the camera and start talking and start speaking against the Black woman, because he knows that makes money. And that's where he got that 134 gazillion dollars. That's where he got it from. Not because he used brawn and brain and did something significant and impacting for the world, but just because he chose to belittle each of the 19 of us liars in this chatting on this stream. All right. So let's make sure that while we acknowledge Kitty Hills and his amazing growth and all of his million subs and his bajillion dollars, let's also acknowledge that without the Black woman, it wouldn't have been possible. Okay.
I'm gonna say it's for those people being like, oh, you making your Goldie, making your hating Black women. Oh, that's just the way they are. Like I said, you guys started in the 2000s. We're just responding and defending, and now you can't take the smoke. You went sending attack. You mess with the wrong group of people. That's how it is. You spit fire, you're gonna get a war. That's all I'm gonna say. So don't feel like. Go ahead.
Can I break in for a minute? Let me say this. So I'm a woman of a certain age, and I remember being young in the 80s. And Black men were dogging Black women. Then Wesley Snipes did a whole piece, I think, in Essence magazine, about how much he loved Asian women. And he went through, say for instance, that the woman wants you to take the garbage. A Black woman's gonna yell and scream at you and tell you, N-word, get up and take the garbage out. And he said, and he went as far as women are beautiful, but their attitudes are nasty. White women are ugly, so he just totally threw them away. But Asian women are beautiful, but an Asian woman will make love to you, and while she's making love to you, then she'll say, "Baby, you forgot to take the trash out." And I'm a young girl growing up, and guess what? I ate that, and I watched the women that were older than me eat that, and we've been eating it for 30 years, watching them grow up in the hood, grow up in Blackistan. Poor mama is trying to turn 15 cents into $1, right? Making beans and rice, big old pot to feed everybody. Y'all forgive my accent, I'm from Chirac. And and then as soon as if he grows to be over 6 feet tall, he forgets about poor mama down in the project somewhere on the south side of Chicago in poverty, and you look up while he's in college and he's with Becky and Susan, right? And we watched this and we ate this for 30 years. And so Kitten and Hills, baby, he thought he had blew up. He just came in at the wrong time because we're tired of it. We're sick of it. And we are bringing real issues. And I got a lot of these issues from men, Professor Griff, me listening to them when black men were still stronger men. I respected men. I respected Khalid Muhammad. Where are they at now? They have passed away. And look at the change that has come. And with the advent of social media, it's like black women are just like no more. You're going to tell the truth. You're saying we're not telling the truth. I think we do tell the truth. We have aided and taken when they said all we do is twerk and wear pink hair and purple hair and this and that and talking about makeup and hairstyle. While white women are doing this constantly, they got pink hair and purple hair and wearing pajamas and house shoes in the grocery store and rollers in there. But because their man built an infrastructure second to none throughout the world, they can do whatever they want to do, and it doesn't affect them economically, not at all, and nobody even puts their mouth on them.
Can I just say this whole Asian women are submissive thing? I noticed that, parents, like Asian parents, teach and their sons to mate with, especially the daughters, to mate with white men. But how come it's the Asian parents who, no, the Asian kids who their parents don't claim and who's not the desirable in their community that goes for black men? They know that their skin color will be praised by these men and that they will literally put their women, their counterparts, away for a woman who resembles their oppressors. And we all know, majority of the time, not saying all, clearly there's not everyone like that, but majority and a high number, Asians are the least anti-black people you would ever hear. One Asian was like, "Oh, Asia is an anti-N-word with a hard R on it." That's what he said. And the woman was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't want my kids dating a black man." And they don't know this. And like I said, and one thing they don't know is that their preferences are usually using them. There was this document when they talk about black women feminists, the mothers of feminism, white women, told their true intentions. They're like, they said that white women at the time were smarter than white men, more educated than white men. And they need to prove to their men that they're more powerful. Now, they're going to talk about, oh, black women are masculine, this and that. You can see that these women, even though their men provide, protect, and, build communities, like the police is after and protecting them. Even they have all that, they still want to be over those men. They are the real masculine people. And they even stated in that document that, IR for them was a way to extend the black race for good. And plus, the woman was like, oh, since white women are more educated than white men, they have that over them. But they need to make sure, they need to make white men fear them. They need to make white men respect them and see them better than white men. And do you know how they would do that overall?
How did they do it?
They said that they want to dominate black men. They're like, if we as women can dominate the same men that you dominated during slavery, then you will fear us. You will see that, oh, these women, they dominate a whole group of men. Oh, they're scary. We need to fear them. That's what they said in that document. They said that sometimes they go to black men to prove to white men that, they're powerful and that they can dominate white men anytime, however. And we even see this. For Emmett Till, and a lot of times there's this TikTok video where these white women were crying and then they snap their fingers. It's like they're saying, we can do it anytime we want. And you prove it that they have men who protect them and provide for them. They can do whatever they want. And some black women makeup, there's literally videos of white women pouring pounds of concealer on their faces. But no one will say anything about that because they have whiteness. They're white. They have white skin. That's something that, black men always love. They love European features to get out their self-hatred mentality. They want a seat at the white men's table and be appreciated by white men. They just don't want black men calling them out because they want you to feel like you're least in them. They don't want to be corrected.
Mm-hmm. And that is so true. And like, I don't know why they think that black women shouldn't be able to adorn ourselves just as every other woman in the world does.
So that's part one. I'm gonna do part two So thank you for tuning in. And I hope you watch both parts. And also go to my girl Goldie Jones channel. Subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.